It's the ledger you found in the trash.
Yes.
A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Can I read the case files now?
Yes, at last. You find a way to piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. HDB 41, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120117000, the next world mural.
Yep, would be, was it Harry or Henry? It was Harry, right? Harry Dubois, 4th of November 2011? No, like 7 o'clock, maybe? Or is it 201? 17? Well, whatever. Wait, HTB 41, Windows Officer Precinct?
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
And HTB is Harry Dubois. You know this, Harry, come on.
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Harrier Dubois.
Yes.
HDB.
Murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Right, on with the murder.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Go on.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Really stupid.
Yeah, so anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there, only client that day. In perfect health too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing, just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table, and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He must have sucked a lot of it.
Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name.
And what was he doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Next,
The couch in an unexpected location.
some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it, in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They actually look like assholes. Insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was.
They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it, too, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Did I ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
The square bullet hole murders.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
What?
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
A sequence killer?
Who knows? Those pages are missing.
God damn it,
What
Harry.
next? One day you may still catch the man with the square gun.
Disco Elysium 2? The Unsolvable Case.
AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in general, know it's unsolvable. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
Couldn't we just keep them off the streets?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition, because that's where the action is. Can you keep yourself off the streets?
Proceed.
Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street, because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Leslie is public indecency.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like an officer thing to do.
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
Happy ending?
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Yes. The Next World mural.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lecturers have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Right, do I ever find out who came up with it?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Remove the mural, it is wrong.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
I must have voted and possibly even lobbied to remove the thing because I don't believe in that rubbish one bit.
No one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
Yeah, we're done. That was fun.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. You know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls. Probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
I know. Sylvia already told me I dunked it in the toilet.
If you knew it was dunked in the toilet before getting chucked into the trash, why are you sniffing it?
The option to sniff was there, so...
So you wanted to get in on the trash toilet stink collab. Find out what happens when those two get funky together? Okay, pal.
You angry with me, Nose?
Yeah. Turns out your nose doesn't like self-indulgent literal shit huffing. Quelle fucking surprise. Come on, no more. The ledger is going back down, away from your nose now.
Okay. Slide the hidden drawer open.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, you see 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
I'm still unsure what this option is even referring to, so I'd rather not.
It's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand. It takes about half. Not much is arson, petty theft. You don't exact.
We've interacted with the ledger to its full extent. Do we have anything else here? I think we've interacted with all of these things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Alright. Where do we head next? I think... Wait. How do I sync the signs with Noid? Yeah, probably. Getting them into the church. The map. Travel here. Much better. Let me phone... Oh, what are
Inside,
these?
you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Did you find more about the owner of the armored boots?
Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Jamrock Public Library?
Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock Public Library here. How can I help you, officer?
I'm looking for any information that you provide on Billy Magine, a reader.
Billy Majon, you said.
Yes.
Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database.
He puts down the receiver.
Yes, hello, are you still there? I found Billy Majon's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
That's alright.
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Yeah, home address is fine.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment number 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Cape Side Apartments, it says. That's all.
That's where Joyce is.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's that apartment specifically, but it's that building, yes. Any other information on Billy Majon?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day.
Do you know someone who was?
Marie? Marie? Do you remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Vault book the other day.
Excuse me. You hear someone answer from afar.
Yes, it was my colleague Marie. She said that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87, but we don't have it yet.
Good. You have a name now.
So Billy Majon is a woman, not a man? How did your colleague know that it was her husband?
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her.
Do you know the husband's name?
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight.
Can Marie describe to me what the husband looked like?
Marie?
A moment passes.
She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him.
What was he wearing?
1 second.
The librarian turns away from the phone again and relays the question.
Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that.
Okay. Thank you. That's all from me. I have no other questions.
Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye, Mr. Librarian. The librarian hangs up and the call gets redirected back to the station with a soft click.
Anything else you need from me?
No thank you,
57,
Alice.
over and out.
In the cabin,
Alright. So what are you two doing here?
That's one brutal motor carriage.
Says the young man with piss B written on his back.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
His companion wears a simple yet elegant slogan. Fuck the world.
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Skulls. Now there's a strong organizational title. Was it a good idea on the lieutenant's part to get into this? Don't even answer that. Just leave. You can always come back later, on your own terms.
Alright, we'll come back later for sure. We don't have the time to bother with those people. René. They're just running over the game.
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul. If he's got principles.
René, I've found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He adds with a slight sigh. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Well, why are you on a leave?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, seek it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
So who is working your shift that night?
No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
So it doesn't matter if you're there or not?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
He tries to argue.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
Not quite. I saw a picture in there. You were in it. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Alright, let's try this once again. Nope.
Still, all you see is an old soldier refusing to replace his uniform with a civilian attire.
Anything else I can assist you with, officer? We still have a game to finish.
Unfortunately not, it seems. Bring me back over here to the street cellar. Down here. What is this? Plastic wrapped macaroni stamped with humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid tuna fish, not for resale. This has a food gift from the people of Messina. And speakers from the people of Samara. Who's speakers?
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here.
Gives you a thumbs up. I was sure we talked with him before. What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer, you're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
He makes both hands into finger pistols and fires a few finger bullets into the air. Whether I'm cool is unimportant. I have police questions for you.
You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Maybe I can interest you in some premium menswear instead.
You can give me some money?
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
Guy told me I need money to live. I'm a policeman. It's an investment in good relations with the RCM.
I hear you, officer. What kind of a sum are we talking about here?
10 real.
Sounds like a fair deal all around.
He takes a 10 note from a leather pouch. Thank you.
Corruption.
It's just like bus or seagull. A kid watching out of a window describing things going by. He doesn't like it too much, but what do you do?
What kind of stuff are you selling here?
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Where'd you get those comfy pants?
I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board.
Something about that tells me he has no idea what any of that means. Do you have a permit to sell all that?
Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom. Take a look around.
He takes a deep breath.
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather, the sidewalks strewn with sunflower seeds and a dust-choked air.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
Is it true he doesn't need a permit to sell?
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its law officials are so cool.
Wait, but what are we doing here if there are no permits?
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the interests of property holders. I'm not, however.
My man, officer, you make all this possible. Without you, this climate would be extremely bad for business. You're part of the Gossamer state.
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn. It's safe to say he's referring to the near absence of regulations.
Okay, no permit then. Cool.
Hyper cool.
He nods solemnly, then breathes out a sigh of pride, surveying the city around him. Is there a discount for cool officers like me?
No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want, 50% off.
But did he first mark them up 100%, just so that he could put them on sale?
Are those things really on sale, or did you just jack up the price first?
My man, You know how the game is played. You and me, we should work together. What do you think? Shake things up?
He winks. That's all then. Let me ask you something else.
Anything for you.
The food packages you're selling have humanitarian aid written on them. How come?
You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too. Buy some, try them out.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
I think one said not for resale on the packaging.
No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers, an extremely reputable guy.
Does your supplier drive that Humanox lorry over there?
What?
Street vendor looks over his left shoulder and stares at the lorry as though he's never seen a lorry in his entire life.
A convincing performance. Bravo.
Look, officer, I'm just a retailer. You'd have to talk to my supplier if you got questions about the supply chain. That's how the game works.
Interesting.
Lieutenant whips out his blue notebook and makes a note. Where are you from, Sealing?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
You're from the Apricot Suzerainty, right?
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say that you're from Seaguy.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's some kind of mind reaction.
No, it's very cool, officer. You're a cool cop for caring about those things. You should buy cool glasses too.
He points to a pile of sunglasses. Well, I'll look around.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes. Keep saving that economy.
Maybe last time I just looked around the crates and didn't actually talk to him.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can.
Find something worth salvaging.
No good.
No.
All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs.
No luck.
Let's just...
Why
No.
not take another look, officer? Keep
itchy
supporting
pants.
the economy.
This is half-light. What even is half-light? No, not yet. We'll maybe get back to those, but not
You
now.
see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, ultra serious.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Speaking of luxury, you should go over and ask about paying for those sneakers with your net worth.
Inspect the speakers.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found ultras atop them. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads, Solidarity Aid from the People's Republic of Samara. The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
What about the speakers, though? Doesn't anyone want those speakers?
These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
Samaran trash? That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
And I just buy the sad conquered Samaran speakers?
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
But I need some speakers.
Well, if you want them...
He pauses for a moment, calculating.
But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
Damn, So you have to buy the sneakers first. Here's a crazy plan. Get the seed money for the sneakers, buy them, then buy the speakers too. Then sell the speakers to Roy, that wacky vendor in the pawn shop. They're right up his alley. You'll make most of the sneakers money back that way.
I came up with that plan?
Yup, hustle and grind. 1 real at a time.
Inspect the sneakers.
A pair of Faun Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super air, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
50? Are you serious?
Only? That's madness. Faun Ultra. We're the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine?
Not now. I've only got 55 real. I can't afford to buy those right now. We might have a look at them later.
Shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him.
You know, sure, we'll finally ask him about the net worth.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
I can't ask him about the net worth. Never mind. Yeah, that was very fruitful now, was it? What next?